Islamic parties aren't just in the Middle East anymore. Belgium, a country in Europe, is scheduled to hold elections in just a few months. There's a rising star in the political landscape there. It's called the Islam Party. Its stated purpose is to implement Sharia and transform Belgium into an Islamic state. Members of the Islam Party won 2 races in 2012. The party is hoping to expand its success this round. Katie Hopkins writes for Rebel Media. She has traveled to the town of Molenbeek. Lots of jihadis there. You may remember it because it was the place the 2015 Paris terrorists plotted their attack. She interviewed the town's mayor, who seemed to regard its ties to jihad as a marginal issue at best. Watch.
Were you told that Abdel Salah was a suspected terrorist in Molenbeek? Were you given that list? Were you given that information in October 2016? 15?
Yes. Well, we had a list, but this list was known. I just had a list of a few names. Well, I would say more than 30 names, but it was not the job of the local police to follow those people.
Not my job, she said. Katie Hopkins joins us tonight. Katie, that's unbelievable. Are we misreading that because of the language barrier? Did the mayor just say it's not her job to keep track of dangerous people in her community?
Absolutely. She's the mayor of Molenbeek. She's been there for about 6 years or so now. She was given the name and the location. He ran a bar in the town of the coordinator of the Paris attacks, where 130 were killed, 415 were maimed. And when I said to her, you had that list, you had his name, you did nothing, she said, it's not my job. It was not my job to do something. And of course, this is part of the problem in the jihadi capital of Europe, where I've just spent 3 days, is that politicians turn a blind eye because they are dependent on the voters who are Muslim and they want their support.
So it's a demographic thing. I mean, at a certain point, you become captive to the people who are changing your society.
That's absolutely right. You know, what I've just seen, I've spent 3 days walking the streets of Molenbeek. It's known as a place that other reporters won't go because it's 80% Muslim. There's a lot of Sunnis there, a lot of Salafists, a lot of Shiites, very hardcore kind of religious individuals. But you've got a triumvirate, the perfect storm of a lot of unauthorized mosques, particularly controlled by Iran, and money flowing in. You've got one type population, 80% Moroccan heritage Muslims, and then you've got politicians and police who, I'm told by informers, are taking backhanders, who are happy to turn a blind eye. And that's why you've got terror being plotted in Belgium, but that terror then of course drives 2 hours away to destroy people in capital cities like London here, or indeed Paris. And bear in mind, Ramadan is just around the corner. What do the rest of Belgium think of this? Ordinary Belgians, are they for this? Yeah, it's so interesting. Obviously, there's a great deal of white flight. I walk through, I think you have images and stills there, the marketplace. I was the only woman with my head uncovered. Everybody there is in a burqa. The Islam Party that are putting up 28 candidates in September, they want segregated transport, segregated living, and they want halal everywhere and Sharia. And I can see it coming. So there's a massive white flight. And academics and teachers and certain individuals will tell me their truths. They will tell me there are unauthorized mosques, that the teachers are giving up hope, that people want to move out, but they don't want to be seen to be saying that because it goes against the liberal narrative. But really, these areas still exist. There's a massive mosque there, run by Saudi. It was given a 99-year free lease on a massive building in Belgium, as long as they could bring in extremist imams to have access to these migrants. And then we wonder why we end up living with the jihadis next door.
Is this a permanent situation? Are these people residents, citizens of Belgium? I mean, is it temporary?
No, it's not temporary at all. They have citizenship. 95,000 people live in Molenbeek. About 85% of them are Moroccan heritage, but they are French nationals, often Belgian born. But what's so interesting, in talking to a teacher today who didn't want to be on record, she was saying that her teaching colleagues find that no matter what, how many generations in they are, 3 generations in now, they always have one foot still in Morocco. And that's very very much the point that she made. Those old Islamic and Muslim traditions matter more than any European heritage they may have.
Amazing. Not the Belgium most of us think of. Katie Hopkins, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.